Let's talk about how you're using AI. Because if you're talking to it like it's just a search engine, you are missing out on almost all of its real power. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty simple shift in thinking that takes you from just giving commands to actually creating a collaboration. Okay, let's just get right into the heart of it. On the left, that's the way most of us do it, right? We treat AI like it's a slightly smarter version of Google. But on the right, that's where the magic really is. The idea that prompting isn't about finding something that's already out there. No, it's about building something totally new. It's architecture.
So let's start with that search bar mindset. It's where most of us begin, and it makes total sense. But honestly, it's the very thing that's holding us back.
I mean, we've all done this. You type a short little phrase into the chat box, you hit enter, and you kind of cross your fingers just hoping you get something good back. It feels exactly like using a search engine. But with that approach, we're leaving almost all of the AI's real power just sitting on the table.
This right here, this is the key. The whole mindset shift. What if, instead of just barking an order, your prompt was the opening line in a conversation with a brilliant partner, a partner that you actually need to guide and structure and work with?
So, if it's a collaboration, what are we even collaborating on? Well, that brings us to a much more powerful idea, the idea of designing intelligence. This is where we stop just asking simple questions and we start actually creating solutions. We really need to redefine the word prompting. It's not just about writing. It's a whole design process. It means you have to first think really hard about your goal. Then you have to structure the information you give the AI. And finally, you have to design the exact output you want it to create. And look, this isn't some crazy complex engineering thing. It's a pretty simple, repeatable process. It all starts with thinking, really defining what you're trying to achieve. Then you structure your prompt, giving the AI all the context and the rules it needs to do a good job. And finally, you design the output by telling it the exact format and style you're looking for. So here's the most important point. You are the architect. Your prompt is the blueprint. You're not just a passive user asking a question anymore. You're an active creator, building something amazing with an incredibly powerful tool. And you know what? The people who master this are going to build things the rest of us can't even imagine. Now, why does all this matter so much? Well, because right now, we are all facing what you could call the 1% problem. We have access to this unbelievable power, but we are barely using it. Here's a pretty staggering fact for you. The average AI prompt is fewer than 12 words long. 12 words. Just think about that for a second. We're giving a dozen words to a system that was trained on the entire breadth of human knowledge, and we're expecting a masterpiece. This chart just shows the gap perfectly. Those short, simple prompts, they unlock maybe 1% of what these models can actually do, which means 99% of its potential is just left completely untouched, waiting for someone to write a better prompt.
And the reason that untapped potential is so massive is because these models were trained on trillions of words, on just unimaginable amounts of text and code. They get context and nuance and structure in ways we're only just starting to figure out. Our 12-word prompts are basically like trying to describe the entire ocean using only a single drop of water.
So how do we tap into that other 99%? Well, the solution is surprisingly elegant. We need to change our relationship with the AI by turning it into our co-architect. And here it is. This is probably the single most powerful takeaway from this whole explainer. Instead of asking the AI for the final answer, ask the AI to help you write a better prompt. Use the AI to help you structure your own request so you get the best possible outcome. Let's give this idea a name. Prompt architecture. It's the technique of collaborating with the AI to build the blueprint together. You can start with just a basic idea, and you ask the model, hey, how can I ask this better? What information do you need from me to nail this? And this works so well because the AI knows itself better than we ever could. It understands its own internal logic, so it can suggest the perfect format, it can ask for the specific details it needs to really perform at its best. When you do this, it stops being just a tool, and it really becomes a partner. Ultimately, it all just boils down to this. The quality of what you put in directly determines the quality of what you get out. By investing just a little more thought into building your prompt, by becoming a prompt architect, the results you get back won't just be a little better, they'll be exponentially better. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Stop thinking of that little text box as just a question box. See it for what it truly is, a blueprint for creation. The only question left is, what are you going to build?